So recently they have rebranded to the name Pretzel Hut. I mean, damn, not Pretzel Hut. It was Game Controller City. No, not that. It's, Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pete Perspective. My name is Pete, and if you are new to the channel, I just want to say welcome to you. We just came out of Techtober. Let me tell you, was it a Techtober to remember? I wanted to give you a really quick rundown before I jump into the topic for today of what I ended up going with. I ended up at the end of Techtober when I put my wallet away and locked it in the basement so I'd never spend $1 again. I ended up getting the iPhone 13 Pro in the graphite, ended up getting the Apple Watch Series 7 in midnight, and then of course I got the new MacBook Pro with the M1 Max chip, 64 unified memory, 2 terabytes of storage, and Space Gray, 16-inch. I don't know if I said 16-inch. So that's what my Techtober looked like. I'm good. I am spending no more money, not $1 more. And if you see me do another Apple product review, call a therapist, please. Okay, so it's been a minute since we've talked about anything branding related, and are we just gonna pretend like the whole Meta thing didn't happen? I saw a bunch of articles when Facebook announced its rebrand as Meta, okay? So obviously we saw the stories, the articles flying around, but like, what do you think of it? What do we think of it? Mark Zuckerberg is weird. He has to be a robot. I'm telling you, he is a robot. The New World Order, man. It's him. Like the way he puts on sunscreen and like it just gouges it on his face. The way he rides on these electric surfboard things with American flags. It's just, there's something about it, man. I don't know. I'm pretty convinced that Mark Zuckerberg is a robot. And his last name is Zuckerberg, which I don't know. Maybe before Zuckerberg was Zuckerberg, it didn't sound weird, but that sounds like Zuckerberg. He's a robot. To understand what's happening here, really simply, under Facebook's parent company were smaller entities, which were Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, the app Facebook, and of course, Oculus and a few other brands and applications that they own. You can start to understand how Facebook parent company and then the Facebook app, all those separate things could be very confusing. Now, 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, Facebook actually rebranded the parent company to help distinguish from the app. So the app, of course, uses the lowercase f with the traditional Facebook blue, and then the Facebook parent company used sort of like this rainbow color, and I think they were just trying to figure out a way to distinguish stuff. So it's already getting confused. Literally, I'm getting confused talking to you about it. So Meta is a brand new name and a new brand at large for what was previously Facebook. And so Meta will now be the parent company with Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Oculus, all of those other things underneath it. I think from a logical standpoint and from an organizational development standpoint, this is a great move. I mean, like, it does bring a lot of clarity to, you know, our discussion about Facebook. We can now say like, hey, Meta bought a new company, Meta did this, and Facebook is now just the app. I think that provides a lot of clarity as we discuss it. And now that they have separate brands, it's also gonna provide clarity on the visual standpoint as well. And we don't need to necessarily try to guess like which one are we talking about, because as we just discussed, it's extremely confusing. So all that to say, let's talk about the logo. The logo itself, honestly, I'm completely underwhelmed with the type. And the typography is just kind of like, meh. It does feel very Meta. It does feel very like it could work for all of those apps, which is probably part of the tension there when you're rebranding such a big parent company that's gonna be holding these separate entities underneath it. It does need to be really flexible and work, right? It can't be super ornate or anything like that. So from that standpoint, I can understand why it's so simple. However, it does feel like just almost too simple. I mean, I know that sounds contradicting. It's like, I want a little bit of complexity to the logo. I want to see that you did some things to customize some things, but I also don't want it to be too complex. And maybe I'm being a little bit of a diva right now, but so what? All in all, the Meta type, kind of cool. I appreciate it, but don't love it. And you guys know, I come on here a lot and talk about brands, and most of the time, I'm pretty stoked about them. So this one, I'm allowed to not be stoked on, okay? Boom. Let's talk about the icon. The icon itself, or the logo mark, if you will, it's okay. I do appreciate how they pulled in the traditional Facebook blue to kind of pay respects to their initial product, which was the Facebook website at the time, now the app. I like that pull in, and so it does feel distinct enough from all the other applications. I do appreciate the respect to, hey, Facebook was our original product. Obviously Instagram, if Instagram was their first product, I could totally see them using Instagram gradient inside of that M to kind of pay respects to that. But obviously because of Facebook, you know, it was their original product. They pulled in that blue. I love that. It's a cool little touch, I must admit. For the M, I wish it was a little bit more pronounced as an M. It does look like a pretzel, it does look like a game controller, and there's just tons of memes flying around, like of, you know, the meta, and then I saw someone who said feta, and then I saw someone who said beta, and it's all hilarious. I was cracking up, okay? I'm not even gonna lie. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I just kind of feel meh about the whole mark at large. But listen, I just wanted to share some of those thoughts with you. I mean, obviously you guys have probably seen the articles and the news stories about the rebrand, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know, do you think it's a good move? Do you think from a visual perspective, do you like it? Designers, talk to me, even non-designers, man. Like, what are your thoughts about Facebook just switching it up like this? What are your thoughts on the metaverse? Like, this dude is trying to build a new reality where everybody's living in their basement eating freaking, you know, bagel bites and Pop-Tarts the rest of their lives. And that's not good. I don't want to be in the future where I don't get to see people face to face. And yeah, I'm all for the future. I'm all for it. But I think the future has to be, we're people and we need to connect outside of the metaverse. And so, yeah. Anyways, like this video if you think Mark Zuckerberg is a robot. And as always, you have a purpose and perspective, unlike anything this world has ever seen. Don't forget it. Tell somebody you love them today. Stay positive. You can do it. We're for you. This community is here for you. Shout out. Reach out in the comments below. Let me know if you guys need anything. Hit me up. I'm here. Peace. To the end of the video, thank you for sticking around, liking this video, commenting, subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. Catch me on some of the other social platforms. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Pete__Rodriguez. You could also find me on Dribbble, Behance, and of course my website. And I just want you to know, your perspective matters. This is our community. It's you and I. We're in it together, all right? I'll see you guys next time.